Found some great trivia on this next record, did a little bit of research, did a little bit deeper research on this record, and I'll share with you with what I learned. Never Again by Kelly Clarkson at number 34. Took a big drop though from number 12. God doggy, what was I thinking? Well, there was a lot of songs that were moving up on this fancy playlist of July 15th, 2007. Definitely nothing against this record. This is a more rocking record by Kelly Clarkson. She was no shrieking violet by not by any stretch of the imagination. When her first record after the American Idol win, a moment like this, I thought, well, she's powerful. She got a great voice, but this is just I can't get into this. It's a cheesy record. I mean, come on. She gonna be another one of these slow, uh, well, Breakaway came out, and then this album, My December, and boy, she unspooled a more edgier, a rocking, angrier self. I mean, she could almost rock like Joan Jett. But this song right here, more inspired by Pat Benatar and Alanis Morissette, particularly this record, Never Again. Also, Behind These Hazel Eyes, which was from Breakaway, descendants, direct descendants of You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette back in 1995. And you know something? I didn't know. I found this out in this research. She went out with David Hodges of Evanescence. And the two songs off of the Breakaway album, Behind These Hazel Eyes, which rocked, and Since You've Been Gone, about David Hodges, about her breakup or about her ex, David Hodges. And she really unfurled, well, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word right now. But then she came out with Never Again, an angrier song, Never Again. Kelly Clarkson from, now let's talk about the guy who produced this record. I know I'm going all over the place because I'm so excited about what I learned. I want to share it with you as much as I can with you. Well, I even lost my notes. Produced by David Kahn, a guy named David Kahn. Big producer on the inside. One of his big wins, he produced MTV Unplugged, Tony Bennett, 1995. Got a Grammy, Best Album of the Year, or Album of the Year. Khan helped resuscitate Tony Bennett for a new generation, for an MTV generation back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. If you go back to the 90s, you might remember that Tony Bennett resurgence for several years back in the 90s. He's also produced Fishbone, groups like who he's produced acts like Fishbone, Sublime, Strokes, New Order, Regina Spektor. Remember Regina Spektor, the Russian singer. He produced one of her albums, Begin to Hope. Fidelity was the big hit off of that back in 2006 by Regina Spektor. That was a brilliant record produced by David Kahn. So let's get back to this Kelly Clarkson record. She co-wrote it with Jimmy Messer. And David Kahn, he plays keyboards on this record. Now, this record was almost shelved. This record, Never Again, a darker counterpoint to Behind These Hazel Eyes and Since You've Been Gone. She wrote this during the Breakaway sessions, the song during the Breakaway sessions. And initially, she shelved this song because it was so angry. And the record companies, well, the record company executives, they were not enthusiastic. They were not enthusiastic either. They told Kelly Clarkson, you can't put this out. This is too Pat Benatar. This is too rocking for you, Kelly. And she said something like, well, I really like this song. I love Pat Benatar, don't you? What's wrong with Pat Benatar? What the hell is wrong with rocking out every now and then? Well, it's just not you, Kelly. Well, it is me because I'm pissed. I'm angry, and this song is so much energy. This song has so much energy, and it's so much fun. It's going out as a single. It did well for her. Never Again by Kelly Clarkson. Boy, I tell you, I don't know if I mentioned this already. I came across this on another website. She uses a punk rock legend. A punk rock legend plays on this album. 6 tracks on this album plays bass. It's named Mike Watt, or it might be Mike Watts, played on this album. It was sort of a departure for Kelly Clarkson a little bit, going out into, well, forbidden rock and roll territory. But she was successful at it. Anything else I need to add about this record? My goodness. Kelly Clarkson. Not a rock icon. Not like Pat Benatar or Lance Morissette or Joan Jett. But she built that rock and roll template so well on top of a pop foundation. A mansion of great music. A hall of great music. Hall of Kelly Clarkson. Indeed. Kelly Clarkson at number 34 with Never Again on my fantasy playlist, July 15th, 2007.